Hello, boys and girls! Greg from the Scary Spirits Podcast, here to make you another cocktail. This week's cocktail is the Gimlet, and for some reason is the featured cocktail in today's episode. I'm going to start with a bigger with ice. To that, we're going to add 2 1/2 ounces gin. It's a lot of gin. Gin is not my favorite. Next, 1/2 ounce fresh lime juice. I'm using Rose's sweetened lime juice. Because why not? 1/2 ounce. Or a little more. You do you. And 1/2 ounce simple syrup. That's 2 sweeteners in a row. I might go a little light on this one. There we go. Then we shake until well chilled. That's cold, boys and girls. Then we're going to take our coupe glass, which I forgot to chill, and we're going to strain. And we can garnish with a lime wedge if we want to be fancy. I am not being fancy. The Gimlet. I've had a Gimlet before. It's pretty good. Thanks for watching, boys and girls. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. See ya.
This week on the Scary Spirits Podcast, we celebrate director Ed Wood's birthday with 1955's Bride of the Monster. Mr. Wood is known not for his cinematic masterpieces, but is actually famous for his lack thereof. I love these kind of movies, and Greg most definitely does not. He does not appreciate the so bad it's good genre. But I'm going to go on record here to say this movie is not near as bad as I thought it would be. It has decent acting, okay camera work, and a sort of interesting story. Certainly not a cinematic masterpiece, but not a complete disaster. Plus, who doesn't have a soft spot for an addiction-riddled Bela Lugosi and his excellent hand and eye acting? Cheers!
Welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So, if you're ready, let's go.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Greg.
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen.
And welcome to the Scary Spirits Podcast, the podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits.
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed. How are you, Karen?
I'm feeling kind of clever, Greg.
Okay.
I've come up with a name for you because if you listened last week, you learned that Greg has been ordained.
Oh, did I leave that in, Karen?
I don't know. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But I think I've got a new name for you. I'm just going to start calling you the Sinister Minister.
I'm not mad about that,
I
Karen.
know, right? I was like, it came to me and I was like, that's clever, Karen. Patted myself on the back. So I'm feeling clever,
Yes.
Mr. Minister. How are you, Greg?
No. Sinister minister, Karen.
Mr. S. Minister.
I'm good. I'm ordained and everything.
But you didn't get raptured.
Well, you didn't either, Karen.
Well, I didn't expect to.
I didn't either. I didn't even know it was coming. You would think I would know.
Yeah, you would think you'd be in the know.
I know, as a ordained minister.
I
Right.
figured I was just going to be here with the rest of the heathens.
Just a reminder, boys and girls, we pre-record these. So,
Not by much sometimes.
no, not by
So
much
we're not that
sometimes.
far
No,
behind.
we're not usually. Usually because we are irresponsible. We are not far behind at all. But look at us being responsible here in the month of October, Karen, more or less.
It's embarrassing, Greg.
Karen, I believe this film was your choice. Was it? Was it not? Because
It
I know
was.
I did not pick this film.
Oh, you're such a grump. Yes, I picked this film.
Tell us, Karen, what film have you chosen for us?
I chose the 1955 Bride of the Monster.
Any reason you chose this film, Karen?
Well, it was directed by Ed Wood, probably produced and written by him too, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure it
Produced, I
was
think.
either.
But,
Well, there's a story. It was not, but go
oh,
on.
okay. Well, his birthday's coming up, I think on Saturday,
Friday, Karen, Friday.
Friday. So in honor of Mr. Ed Wood.
October 10th is what I have it as on my calendar. And this episode comes out October 8th. So still fitting with the times, Karen. Do we have a cocktail to go with our Ed Wood film?
We do. We have Mr. Ed Wood's favorite cocktail,
Says who?
the internet.
Oh, well, that must be true
It
then.
has to be, right? The internet said it.
Well, go on.
It appears Ed enjoyed a gimlet cocktail.
Well, my
Can
wife
you
does
blame
as
him?
well. Go
I
on.
know. Can you blame him? You're going to need 2.5 ounces of gin, half an ounce of fresh lime juice, half an ounce of simple syrup, some ice, and a lime wheel if you're fancy. Place the gin, lime juice, and simple syrup in a cocktail shaker, add ice, and shake until well chilled. Strain into a chilled coupe glass and garnish with the lime wheel. Easy peasy.
It is easy peasy. It's a lot of gin, though, Karen.
It is a lot of gin. It's a lot of gin. And I have ice cubes in mine.
I do not.
I think when I win the lottery, what I'd like to have in my house is a refrigerator that has all different shapes of glassware in it, chilled at constant temperature. So whenever I want one, I just go, like if I need a
I
chilled
totally
coupe.
forgot to chill my coupe glass, Karen, so I am unchilled.
Well, it doesn't say to chill it, but I think all of these
Well, it says
cocktails.
pour it into a chilled coupe glass. It
Oh,
doesn't
it
tell you
does.
to.
Yes, it does.
Step one, boys and girls, chill your coupe glass.
Chill all your glassware because even drinks that we've had before, if they don't have ice, I always think they'd be better in a chilled glass. But that's just when I win the lottery.
You can't go wrong with a chilled glass, I will say, boys and
I
girls.
agree.
Unless it's fall and you're making a hot toddy
True.
or something to that effect.
Agreed.
All right, Karen, should we give our friends and listeners time to make their own gimlet?
I think the sinister minister thing's going to your head. Yes, let's do.
Hold on. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
All right, Karen, might you have a brief synopsis for us of this film from way, way back in 1955.
I do.
Go on, tell us all the ancient story.
It's a little cheeky. I like this one. I'll tell you the part I think is cheeky. Dr. Eric Varnoff is a scientist trying to use nuclear energy to transform people into superhuman beings. Despite his effort, the abducted subjects he uses die during the experiment, with the exception of his assistant, Lobo, who gains monstrous powers. Vornoff's mansion is protected by a murderous octopus. And here's the cheeky part. But somehow, reporter Janet Lawton makes her way inside and discovers the truth. She's taken prisoner, but the police are close behind.
Well, that's misleading, Karen.
It is. But
So
sometimes they are.
it takes away all your cheekiness, I think.
But
Once you watch the
somehow,
movie,
I know, but I just thought it was funny. But somehow,
they wanted
you know,
it to be cheeky. Or they were being cheeky for sure.
they were, yes.
But I'm not sure they watched the movie. Because that is not exactly what happened
No.
or the circumstances thereof. All right, Karen, tell us everything you were pleasantly surprised by or really enjoyed in this film, starring, I think it's Bela Lugosi. Is that his name?
It is. I thought it was fine. I mean, there are some pretty terrible parts in it, but overall, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I had obviously a very low bar, very low expectations for it, but it's a B movie. It was on par with some we've seen. I didn't think it was near as bad as Plan 9 from Outer Space. I think it was.
Well, way to set your bar low, Karen.
Well, I agree, but that's where my bar was. So I think it was a little bit sentimental for me watching it, knowing a bit of the background, because Bela Lugosi looks so thin in this movie. And I
Maybe
think,
it's all that heroin and alcohol, Karen,
was it heroin? I thought it was
or whatever it
morphine. I
was.
think it was morphine.
Morphine.
But he was in pain from his war injuries. But Ed Wood was making these movies and helping these people starring in them survive. You know, nobody would hire Bella, but he did. So I had this kind of like sentimental part of it. So maybe I'm not quite as judgmental as I normally would be. I didn't think it was terrible. There are, like I said, terrible parts in it, but overall, I thought it was fine. I thought it was on level with a B movie. The acting, the sets were okay. They looked like some others that we've seen. It had elements that we come to expect in these things. The plucky female reporter who's dating the policeman or someone else, and they have that kind of conversation where they're kind of antagonistic with each other. I loved her shoes, even though
Oh
she
my
was
gosh.
traipsing around the swamp in them. But
What about her like torpedo bra or whatever it
I know I was
was?
gonna. She's definitely got a Jane Russell bra going, or a Madonna one for
Whatever.
those of you from the '80s. But it was pretty funny. It was very obvious. I don't really have anything specific. I think just overall, it was better than I thought it was going to be. Do you have anything that you liked? It is short too, which I liked, and a pretty small cast. Easy to keep track of who's who.
All right. Well, I'll start. It is short, which is, well, it's not short enough, but it's short. It's short. And the cast is small, but of course, I went through the cast, and there's a lot of people listed in the cast, but most of them are important. So the very first thing I wrote is Bela, I think he's like 73. Don't hold me to that, but that's what I feel like from reading about this film. I think he's 73, and he does a lot of good hand acting. He's a very
He
good hand
does.
actor.
His
And it's
hands were
very,
creepy.
I mean, I cannot do that without my hand shaking now, Karen. I'm just saying.
I made a note of that too. I don't know if it's how they lit
It's
it.
very good.
It's good. And then they do the
How
eyeball thing.
slow he
Yeah.
is, and
Yeah.
oh, I loved it. The music is good, I thought.
Good. I agree.
And I kept thinking, well, this is very low budget. I mean, I mean, do you pay for the music or do you just, I don't know, hire some friend or whatever? And
I wrote the acting is better than I thought it would be. I mean, pretty much all of it, but Bela is especially good, I think. He's much better than I thought he would be as a strung out 73-year-old.
Right.
And I read he was paid something you said made me look up how much he was paid is worth today. Because he was paid $1,000 for this film in 1955. And that's about the equivalent of $12,000 today. But that's pretty good work for the couple days he did. You know, get 12 grand for a
Well, and
couple
I
days
don't
work.
know, like, I don't know the ins and outs of show business, obviously, but I don't know if you have to act in a certain number of films in order to be part of the union,
Oh,
which,
he's in the guild for sure. Screen Actors Guild.
but I think you have to do a certain amount of work to stay in it or something. So I don't know. I just feel like he was not bad. It's not like it was a mercy hiring or anything. I don't want to make it sound like that, but I think it's just some of it is just, you just get that sense that he was helping. I don't know.
I would take 12 grand for a couple days work, Karen. I'm just saying.
And I don't think he hated it. I think he
No,
probably
I thought it
liked
was
doing
fine.
it.
That's all I have. Anything you did not enjoy, Karen?
The Lobo character is terrible. I don't, it just was weird. I didn't get it. The octopus thing is weird. There's just some bad, like there's bad effects. The octopus effects were terrible, but again, low budget. You got to take it with a grain of salt. This is what they were working with, you know? I don't really.
You don't have anything bad to say about it other than it was low budget?
No, I mean, like I said, the acting was better than I thought. They do kind of try to make it relevant to the time with the atomic bombs affecting the weather. And, I think I don't know if they're trying to say something about that, but it seems like they are. They bring in the Loch Ness Monster because that was popular at the time. Like, they're trying the current event kind of thing, which is kind of nice. And I was just, like I said, I was pleasantly
So you
surprised.
don't have anything else to say bad about it?
Why, you got a long list? I'll yield.
No, I don't.
You go
I have
ahead.
as much to say about what I didn't like as I do about what I liked. But I'm shocked that you were at a loss for words. You did not take any notes.
There's little things like they come in from the rain, they're dry. You know, multiple times with the lady when Janet comes in from the rain, her hair is perfectly coiffed because she's dry. The monster Lobo is shot what 6 or 7 times and
15.
he doesn't bleed at all.
Well,
So in
there was one time when
just
he
on the
was shot
top
in
of
the
his
head. He got a
when he
little
got
like
like
scratch.
yeah, when it just barely hit him, he got blood. But when he was shot in the chest, nothing. So there's ridiculousness in it like that. But it's beyond that. That kind of made me laugh. Again, it's we talked about it when we watched Plan 9. We could almost make it ourselves with a couple of people. This would be a little
Well,
bit
we could
more
do this one ourselves, but this would be more like what we would do actually,
truncated a little bit. Yeah.
compared to Plan 9.
But it has that feel to it. Like, let's get a bunch of
Yeah,
friends
we
and
could
make a movie.
we could have put up, you know,
Cardboard.
styrofoam
Yeah.
walls or cardboard walls and painted those stones for the lab in there for sure. And put some old kitchen equipment in there.
I liked the little fireplace secret door. That was interesting, different than the bookcase.
I suppose.
Yeah, what do you got?
The very first thing I wrote is there's bad sound effects in this. Like whoever was the Foley artist, the guy who or whoever, not the guy, the person who does the sound effects of people walking and opening creaking doors and whatnot.
I
They weren't
noticed
very
that
good.
once, but I can't remember when it was. But something was off, and but I don't remember when it was.
But it could be the, finishing of the film or whatever. I don't know. They're
It
mixing.
could, though, be the playback too.
Could.
I don't know.
Next thing I wrote is the sets. The sets aren't great for the most part. Some of them are okay, but the one we're in the most is the lab, and it's terrible.
Yeah, well, it's like the spaceship in Plan 9. It's just walls. And then when they do walk in the house, a picture is askew, and I don't know why.
Well, why
Like,
wouldn't it be?
well,
I
why
like the
would it be?
house. Oh, is every picture in your house right now not askew? It's all perfectly perpendicular and
No, but it's really
oh, okay.
tilted, and I just didn't know why that
Well, it's
was.
an old house probably. He probably
Okay.
doesn't live in much of it, but his
I think it might have
pad.
been to show he didn't care about anything in the house.
Next thing I wrote is, and actually the last thing I wrote is the octopus. Octopus is terrible.
Well, outside the stock footage.
Yeah, outside the stock footage. The octopus that actually interacts with actors is terrible. It's the same every time, and the actors have to grab the tentacles and wrap it around themselves and
Yes.
try to struggle with them, even though they're trying to wrap it around themselves.
Agreed. It's bad.
But that's all I wrote.
You didn't mind Lobo?
No, he's what he always is. It's not our first film we've done
It's
with
not our first Lobo.
Tor. It's not our first Tor Johnson film. That's what he does.
I guess I was
It
hoping he'd
probably won't be our last either, Karen.
branch out.
I may pick one next time. I'm curious to see how Tor evolves throughout his acting career now.
Yes. I am not an Ed Wood aficionado, but I would think this might be one of his better ones. But again, I don't know. With the two that we have watched, this is definitely better.
It probably is. It's from what I've read, it's a lot of people regard it as his best film.
Oh, okay.
Not at the time, mind you.
Of course.
Speaking of which,
Do you
would
have
you
a
like to
review?
hear a review from the time?
I would love that.
But before I give you the review of the time, Karen, I have to tell you this has a 4.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's probably pretty good for Ed Wood.
4.2. It has a 55% approval on Rotten Tomatoes. But, Karen, what do you think our Google users think of this film?
64%.
85%.
Oh, they came through. 85. Nice. Surprising, but nice.
So the review I have is from Variety, dated May 12th, 1955, but it lists the film as Bride of the Atom, which, when it was released at Hollywood's Paramount Theater on May 11th, that's what it was billed as.
I think I like that title better.
And I'll read the whole thing.
I think they leaned into the atomic bomb stuff, but
Definitely.
yeah.
This rehashed version of a story that was old hat years ago is an amateurish effort which even the least discriminating audiences will find dull. Made without a release, the only conceivable reason for production is the Bela Lugosi name in the horror market. Theme of the Edward D. Woods Jr. production, also directed by Woods and co-scripted with Alex Gordon, builds around a mad scientist who is trying to use atomic energy to develop a race of atomic supermen. He has been successful in developing monsters. Now he's experimenting on human beings. Disappearance of 12 men whom he's snatched for this purpose leads to police activity. Scientist also entraps a nosy femme reporter whom he wants as bride of the atom, quote unquote. Lugosi's histrionics are reduced to the ridiculous through overdirection, and Tor Johnson, as his mute strong-arm man, is good only for laughs. Tony McCoy, a detective, Harvey Dunn, police captain, and Loretta King as an obnoxious news hen. She's a news hen, Karen. That's what she is. Having a chance with stilted lines.
Yeah, I didn't care for. So I didn't get that he had created the monster. But
I didn't either.
now that I put it together, they're kind of guessing like he created the Loch Ness monster because he was there for a while and then he's created this.
Yes.
I just now put that together in my head, but I didn't understand it. I don't think he created Lobo,
That's what
but
this person got the impression of, but
that's what they think.
I'm
But
not sure
when
either.
at the end, when he is irradiated himself, he's much bigger than Lobo. So I don't know. It's a bit
Well,
confusing.
that is true. And I wrote, that's a bad body double because it's a body double. It's not Bela Lugosi,
No.
obviously, fighting in all the scenes because, he's 73 years old, boys and girls. But I'm not sure it's intentional
But he is
because
supposed to be
this,
bigger because he got irradiated.
but I'm not sure that's intentional because this body double has acted for him in previous films.
Oh, I thought it meant because I was laughing because the doctor couldn't do it for 12 people, but then Lobo goes in there, throws a few switches, and bam, it works. And so I was laughing like, so what we really need is Lobo to do it.
That's
But
true.
maybe I misunderstood it
That
now
is
that you,
true, Karen.
so I was like, huh.
But I have read reviews, more recent reviews, and it is more appreciated now than it was in 1955.
Well, if you're interested in Ed Wood, I would say,
Well, at least, even this one person who gave it 3.5 stars out of 5, he even says in his review, there's no getting around the fact that Wood was simply magnificently untalented, albeit in a glorious way.
and I appreciate that. I just wonder how he got to keep making movies.
He got his own funding. That's part of the reason why. I mean, he lost all the rights to this because he sold them off to get money to make the movie. Even the main financier was this meatpacking guy who he had two demands.
His
One,
girlfriend had to be in it.
no, his son
Oh,
had to play the hero. So he plays Lieutenant Craig, the
ooh, and he
McCoy
loses his
guy.
shirt.
Yeah, he does. And the film needs to end with an atomic explosion. So he had some political things going on too, apparently.
His son did a
He was
reasonable
fine. When
job.
I read that before I watched it, and I didn't expect much of him, but
He was
he was
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Maybe not as good as the captain character or the other cops, but he's a little stiff, but he's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, he didn't really hurt the film, Karen.
No, that's true. It's
All
funny
right.
you mentioned the captain, and the captain had a bird on his shoulder the whole time.
Yeah, parakeet.
It might have been a lovebird. I couldn't tell, but I was like, why
Parakeet.
why on earth would they have that in the movie? And here I am sitting here pushing a cat away constantly. I'm like, well, sometimes it just happens.
All right. What kind of cocktail rating do you want to give this film, Karen?
I think it's a 4.
That's fair.
It's a heading towards a 5, but it's a 4.
It's the best Ed Wood film I've seen. I'll say that.
Well, you see, now we need to see one more so we can really put them in order.
I will say that. I agree. It's a 4. For Bela alone, I mean, he's fine.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for him, so
He's pretty good in this. He always brings it. Always on his game, Karen. All right, before we get into it scene by scene, is next week's my choice?
it is. What do you have
Oh,
for
God.
us?
I am not prepared, Karen. The film I have chosen is a film from 2015 called Tales of Halloween.
I haven't even heard of that. How is that possible?
It's a horror anthology, I believe, Karen, all about
Ooh,
Halloween.
your favorite. Have you seen it before?
I have not. It's been on my list for a while.
That's not surprising.
It's got a big cast, Karen. Just saying. And it was released, before you ask, Karen, on October 16th. And that episode will come out on October 15th.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
We're getting Halloweeny now.
I have a cocktail as well, Karen.
Awesome. What do you got?
I have a cocktail called Jack's Lantern.
Ooh, sounds interesting. What is it?
I know, aren't I clever?
You are.
So we're going to need 2 ounces of spiced rum, 1 ounce of orange juice, and 1 ounce of ginger beer.
That sounds fall-like.
We're going to combine all those ingredients in a mixing glass and then pour into a cocktail glass, preferably chilled, Karen.
A coupe, I bet.
And if you want to be fancy, a blood orange slice would.
Zhuzh it up.
Yes. So that'll
Awesome.
be next week, Karen.
I look forward to it.
Comedy horror anthology. Yeah, it's an hour and a half. It's standard. It'll be fine. Hopefully they're intertwined intelligently. That's all I can say. All right, Karen, are you ready to get into Bride of the Monster from 1955, scene by scene?
I am, but first we should probably talk about Ed Wood just a little bit. Even though
Go
we
on.
talked about him before, but in case you're joining us for the first time. Edward Davis Wood Jr. was born on October 10th, 1924, passed away December 10th, 1978, was an American filmmaker, actor, and pulp novelist. In the 1950s, Wood directed several low-budget science fiction, crime, and horror films that later became cult classics, notably Glenn or Glenda, Jailbait, Bride of the Monster, Plan 9 from Outer Space, and Night of the Ghouls.
I'm shocked they led with Glenn or Glenda, but that's fine. Go on.
Well, they all sound interesting, although Night of the Ghouls, maybe we can see that one.
Yeah, that one is the next one with starring Tor Johnson.
Okay, well, then we can see his growth.
But Glenn or
Notable,
Glenda is not really a horror film,
no.
so we won't see that.
Notable for their campy aesthetics, technical errors, unsophisticated special effects, use of poorly matched stock footage. That's present in this one. Eccentric cast, well, it all is. Idiosyncratic stories and non sequitur dialogue. Wood's films remained largely obscure until he was I can never say this word, posthumous, how do you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Posthumously?
Posthumously.
That's it. Until he was posthumously awarded a Golden Turkey Award for Worst Director of All Time in 1980,
I did read that, 1980.
renewing
Yeah.
public interest in his life and
I
work.
wasn't aware that he lived to 1978 either. I thought it was strange that he was awarded that in 1980, but now it makes sense now that I know that he died in 78. You'd think he'd get the 79 award, but whatever.
Yeah,
He's just that bad. He deserves recognition.
They should have given it, well, I guess that would be rude. Anyway, one significant event was on his 12th birthday in 1936. Wood received as a gift his first movie camera, a Kodak Cine Special. One of his first pieces of footage showed the airship Hindenburg passing over the Hudson River at Poughkeepsie shortly before its disastrous crash at Lakehurst, New Jersey. He was in the United States Marines.
Wow, he's a Marine.
Mm-hmm. That's all I have. I just wanted to hit some high points for people who might not know about him, but he is a bit of a cult figure in horror films.
There is a film about him by
Stars Johnny Depp. Tim Burton.
Tim
It's
Burton.
Tim Burton.
Yeah. And apparently this film is prominent in that film. I have not seen it, but
Saw it, but I don't remember because I didn't know anything about him at the time that I saw it.
because I think this is highly regarded as his best film, especially like his couple of his speeches he gives near the end. I don't know, where he says, "Home? I have no home."
Hello, boys and girls. You know, doing a podcast can be thirsty work. Lucky for you, we have all our drink recipes on our website, scaryspirits.com. And if you want to see how each drink is made, hit up our YouTube channel, Scary Spirits Podcast, and watch me play bartender. I show you how to make every themed drink. Now, back to the show.
All right, are you ready, Karen? Get into it scene by scene?
I watched it on YouTube.
I watched it on Wikipedia, Karen.
Oh, mine had ads. Was yours colorized?
No,
Okay.
it was apparently the original cut because it's, I assume, in the public domain. Bride of the Monster from 1955. And the UK, Karen, it was rated X. But it's not really a British film, so I'm not even sure why I care. But in United States, there's no rating. It just passed. It was fine. Go ahead and show it. So I guess that means rated G. Film begins. We have credits. Bela Lugosi, Tor
It's a
Johnson.
stormy night. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you're reading it.
No, yeah. We have Bela Lugosi's the headline, then Tor Johnson. Then we have another, you know, slide or whatever, and it's three actors, but Tony McCoy is the same font size as Bela Lugosi and Tor Johnson.
Is that the son of the meat packer?
That's the son of the meat packer. And then I saw later associate producer Tony McCoy. So he got associate producer credits as well. So I'm saying, if people just gave him money, Ed Wood, I mean, and he just relinquished, he's like, yeah, sure, I'll give him associate producer credits. And sure, whatever. So there's a big storm, and we see two hunters talking, and they say it's the worst storm yet. Every night for the last 3 months, hunters seek shelter, decide to make their way to the old Willow house. One of them is unsure because there's spooks there, Karen.
Yeah, they've heard rumors of monsters in the area.
House is supposed to be empty, but the lights are on. They knock on the door. Bela Lugosi answers the door and refuses to let them in. He says, "Good day. I am not going to let you in. I don't care if you do die." Lobo arrives, who we learn is Lobo, arrives and runs them off, and they call him the monster. So then I start calling him Dr. Bornoff, and he goes through the chimney and escapes to his lab. And I wrote, it looks like a kitchen with a lot of beakers and tubes. And then I wrote, is that an octopus?
Yeah, I didn't quite get what the octopus was doing there, but I do think he created the octopus now.
I don't know, but we see, next thing I wrote is, oh, the Bella looking through the glass window at an octopus. Apparently he has like a SeaWorld display in his house. I don't know.
But I think the octopus can get out too, because he said he always comes back.
I guess. I don't know. So then we see the hunters running away. One of the hunters falls into the water. Other tries to pull him out. Octopus grabs the hunter. Other takes his rifle and tries to shoot it. I wrote lots of screaming and gunshots.
Yeah, wouldn't he have to reload the rifle? Because he doesn't seem to have to do that.
Oh, it is Lodo. Well, it depends.
Okay.
Lodo arrives and stops the hunter from shooting. So then we see the man with I wrote a work light on his head, which is I have lots of
the one
these
you
lights,
could never
Ken. I
hold
have
right
lots
for
of these lights. I'm just saying.
the one you could never hold properly for your dad.
No, I have lots of them on clamps that I have.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's a work
So
light
one guy
shield or
went down
whatever.
in the swamp with the octopus. Lobo got the other guy. So there was a pair of them.
Oh, I thought it was. I didn't get that part, but it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't.
Dr. Voronov enters and tells him that Lodo is mute. So we learn a little about Lodo here.
Lodo or Lobo? I was calling him Lobo. Oh, well.
It's Lodo.
Okay.
L-O-D-O.
My mistake.
Bela says he's Dr. Voronov. He turns on a light and throws some more switches. Lights flash, and there's lots of beakers. And the lights are in the beakers glowing, too. Then he throws a couple blade switches, Karen, which are always the most important ones, I think.
Yes, I agree. But then did you hear his line? Because the guy's like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know what he says. What is going to happen? And Bella says, or Dr. Eric, sorry, says, well, you're either going to become a big, massive man or you're going to die like the rest of them.
Yes,
funny.
he's trying to give the hunter the strength of 20 men, but all of his other experiments have failed and the subjects died. That's what I
He
wrote.
said, or you'll die. And I was like,
Like all the
oh.
others, he says.
Yeah. And he does.
So then Dr. Voronov takes his stethoscope and listens to the man's heart, his brain, and his wrist, which I don't know what he's doing there, but he gone, and the octopus returns.
Yeah, he says, our friend always returns after the swim. So apparently the octopus can go in and out of this SeaWorld like structure.
Then we have newspaper headlines: Monster strikes again, monster takes two.
Yeah, don't go to the swamp if there's 10 people missing. You do
Cut to
you.
cut to the police station, police questioning a vagrant. He does not cooperate. He has no substance to this film at all. So I guess
No,
he's just comic relief or something. I don't know. So then
it's hard. That's what's hard about doing this sometimes is you pay attention to a lot of things that you think might come around later, and they don't. And this guy is one of those. He's just got his moment and he leaves.
no, but usually those people end up to have good careers, including this guy and the next guy, the newspaper man who brings the paper to the inspector. He's the same deal. I wrote
The
it.
one, okay.
I wrote it's a thick daily paper. Our daily paper, our Sunday paper is not near that thick, Aaron. Oh my
No,
gosh. Unless it was like the
I miss
multiple
those papers.
major city or newspapers that he was bringing.
Those were
Uh,
always, I love those kind of papers. Those big, the big,
you
thick
don't get
paper.
them now, Karen?
No.
No,
Well, they're not thick anymore.
they aren't, but I
I
get
used to
them.
know a lot about sports when I was in graduate school because my friend
Well,
Jessica
even the
would,
sports is
she
very
would get the
good.
New York Times every day and she would bring it in and we'd split it all up. One
My
postdoc
neighbor,
would take the front page, she would take the style section. That always left sports. So I would just read the sports page. I knew a lot for a while.
my neighbor gets the New York Times every Sunday, and I usually get my Sunday Cincinnati Enquirer before he gets his New York Times, and I'm always looking over there. And sometimes I look out the window and said, "Ooh, it's still there. Ooh, it's still there. Maybe I should go grab it." But I don't, because he's okay, dude.
Used to
But
be
anyway,
fun though to just sit around on Sunday and read the big newspaper.
that's what I do every Sunday morning, Karen.
Greg reads the obits. See if we
I
know anyone.
scan them. I scan them, Karen.
Okay.
I look for the ages to
He
see.
keeps looking for me,
Oh
I
my
think.
God.
I think he keeps hoping I'm there, but no, I'm not. Not yet. Yeah, the ages are a little freaky. Okay, sorry. We digress. Moving on.
So then the police officer takes the paper and gives it to the captain, and that's Officer Kelton.
Who brings in the papers? Yes.
Yeah, and apparently this is part two of the Kelton trilogy of Ed Wood. He was in Plan 9 and this and the one you mentioned earlier.
Night of the Ghouls or
Yes,
whatever.
apparently he was in all of them. Officer Kelton. He's an important character here. So then the captain looks at the newspaper headlines. I wrote, Lieutenant Dick arrives.
Captain's got a bird on his shoulder for no reason. Not like a pirate bird, but
And
a
he's also
parakeet.
like having him on his glasses, like swinging it, like a swing on his glasses.
He must have just showed up with the bird, and Ed was like, let's do it.
Lieutenant Dick's girlfriend is a reporter, question mark, I wrote.
Yeah, the captain's complaining about her, I think, because she wrote all the sensational stories in the newspaper.
Yeah. Lieutenant Dick begins examining evidence that's just sitting there in the captain's office, the gun and the trench coat or whatever it is. Just then a woman bursts into the captain's office. And apparently it's Lieutenant Dick's girlfriend, Janet.
She's not particularly likable.
She's not. She wants a story about the monster, and then she cancels her engagement to
They spend a lot of
Lieutenant
time,
Dick.
yes, to the. She keeps saying
Go ahead, say it. Lieutenant Dick. Karen, say it.
she wants to write about the monster. The captain keeps saying, we only deal in facts, just the facts. We don't talk about figments of your imagination. They do a lot of back and forth. And she accuses her fiance of avoiding her. And if he's going to keep secrets from her, then they're just not going to get married because she's not going to have a married life like that. And she's going to
That's right.
cancel the wedding.
Run away.
Then the captain says, fine, then give back the ring. And then she hems and haws because she's not giving back the ring.
Mm-hmm. Captain tells her to give him back the ring. Then she refuses and said she'd rather throw it in the lake or the marsh or whatever it is.
But they do talk about there have been 12 men missing in 3 months.
Yep. Captain tries to punch holes in her story. Janet says if they won't give her the information she wants, she will go out to the marsh herself and investigate. Cut to Janet visiting the archives. Well, she gets in her car and drives, but she visits the archives of the newspaper.
This is where I said I liked her shoes. Yes, she is at the newspaper office.
And she looks up real estate sales concerning the Willow House. She tells the woman working there to call her, well, after she sees the information she wants, she tells the woman working there to call her boss and her boyfriend, Lieutenant Dick, and
Yeah, tell the boss I'm out for the rest of the afternoon and tell Lieutenant Dick that I have a headache or something. She says ulcer or
have
something.
to cancel our date.
Yes.
So then we cut to the captain talking to Professor Strowski. Lieutenant Craig comes in. I'm calling him that now instead of Lieutenant Dick. But Lieutenant Craig comes in, and Professor Strowski tells them about the Loch Ness monsters. Loch Ness monster. He offers to help them with the investigation of the monster of the marsh.
Yes, so he's saying he's somewhat of an expert. So let's talk about little Nessie for just a bit. The modern legend of the Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie, began in 1933 after a hotel manager's sighting sparked a media frenzy, leading to the publication of the iconic, though later debunked, surgeon's photograph. The history of this folklore has deeper roots, however, with an earlier account of St. Columba encountering a beast in the River Ness in the 6th century. Despite numerous expeditions, sonar searches, and photographic evidence being disproven as hoaxes or misidentification, the legend persists, driven by public fascination and a significant tourism industry. The first photograph alleged to show the creature was taken by Hugh Gray in November 1933, though it was blurry and later suspected to be his Labrador retrieving a stick. The surgeon's photograph in 1934, a now famous black and white photograph,
I
appeared
was going to say that must be the most famous one.
showing a long
We
neck
all
and head.
seen.
Yeah. It was revealed in 1994 to be a hoax involving a toy submarine with a fake head. But I didn't know. Do you know what a loch is? Like a Loch Ness monster? It says
Generally, I can't explain it, but
it's a
generally,
lake. I was like,
it's a lake, but
an arm of the sea,
there's more
especially
to it than that.
when narrowly or partially landlocked.
Yeah, it's partially landlocked, but
I didn't know what it was, so
there was a way to get to the sea from it. It's the way I understand it.
but he presents himself as a Loch Ness expert. So he can help because he says there's similarities between this monster in your marsh and the Loch Ness monster.
Captain agrees to let the professor help them, but only if the captain or Lieutenant Dick Craig escorts him. And Professor agrees, but he does not like investigating at night, apparently, so they need to start the next morning.
Yeah, he puts him off till the morning.
Lieutenant Craig says that if Janet has gone out to the marsh by herself, he will take her across his knee.
If it's the last thing he does,
I guess, and spank her. Karen, is that what he's going to do?
he's going to try.
So then we see Janet leaving her house. It's a stormy night. Well, it doesn't look stormy, but she looks up and it's stormy.
Yeah, that's one of the, yeah.
And
But
then
she puts on her fancy hat and she's in her heels.
she drives through the woods.
She's driving like a nut. Like she's going about 55 miles an hour or something in the rain. Like, slow down.
Well, she's a woman, Karen.
Slow down, Janet. But what happens?
She gets a flat and crashes. She runs up on an embankment, it looks like. And then we see a boa constrictor, Karen.
Out of nowhere.
Apparently we're in the Amazon.
Yeah.
And she screams.
And passes out.
But then Lodo arrives and kills the rubber snake I wrote hanging from the tree. Oh
I'm like,
my
she
gosh,
should have just
it's pretty
stay in
bad.
she should stay in the car. It's pouring rain and she gets out of the car and just stands there. Get in the car.
But the snake in the tree, Karen, that's pretty bad, right?
It is. I'm not arguing.
All right, okay. So then he rescues the unconscious Janet, I guess. He
Steals
goes to
her
pick
hat.
her up and we cut. So Janet wakes up and in Dr. Vornoff's lab. He introduces himself And then he hypnotizes her. And I wrote, he's a good hand actor. That's what I wrote right
Yeah.
here.
I said he hypnotizes her to sleep with his eyeball acting and his hand looks creepy.
He's using his Dracula hands. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Lieutenant Craig and Marty, another police officer,
It's the
investigating
next
the
morning.
swamp.
Yeah.
Swamp is a monument to death, and they're both smoking Marlboros. They talk about the weather being worsened by the atomic bomb experiments happening in the atmosphere, Karen.
Yeah. So I looked up a lot of this you will probably already know, but as we've discussed multiple times, my history and geography are horrible. But the USA has exploded atomic bombs for testing purposes from 1945 to 1992. The first was the Trinity test on July 16th, 1945. It was done at the bombing range in New Mexico. It was a test of a plutonium implosion device. The only use in warfare, of course, was in 1945 against Japan, where we dropped 2 atomic bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, in August 1945, bringing about the end of World War II. More than 1,000 nuclear tests were conducted between 1945 and 1992. These included 215 atmospheric and underwater tests, as well as many more underground. The majority of tests took place at the Nevada Test Site and Pacific Proving Grounds in the Marshall Islands. The last U.S. nuclear test was in 1992. Since that time, the U.S. has observed a moratorium on nuclear explosive testing.
Yes, I'm sure they have.
Mhm. That's what the internet says, so it must be true.
Must be. They talk about the weather. All right, blah, 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 blah. Professor Strowski apparently did not meet them,
Yeah, the professor ditched him.
and they decide to leave and drive away. As they leave, they find Janet's car crashed in the embankment there. They decide to investigate a coffee shop 10 miles away, Karen. Perhaps
I said
she walked 10 miles to the nearest coffee shop.
she walked in those heels for 10 miles.
Perhaps she did. Don't know. Then we see
So-
Professor Strowski arrive, and I wrote, is he in an Edson? I wasn't sure. I don't think it is.
I don't know, but it's a rental car, which
But,
I don't know why, but made me laugh.
yeah, I don't know how he knew that. But anyway, we see Lieutenant Craig talking to the captain, I guess on the phone. Captain is not happy. No one has heard from Janet. They decide to find the professor. The captain calls the newspaper, wants to know who she talked to last at the office. Speaking of
Yeah,
Janet.
the captain's doing his due diligence because he tells Lieutenant Craig that he'll ask around. But his fiancée has been missing since last night. No one has seen or talked to her. He found her car crashed on an embankment, and he says to the other guy, well, back to work. We got to go find the professor. It's like, wow, okay.
Back at the lab, Janet wakes up and
The doctor
Lodo,
talks to her. Yeah.
Lodo brings her some food or some tea, really.
It's
with
tea. I thought it was food too, but it's
Dr.
tea.
Vornoff. Lodo scares Janet, and Dr. Vornoff hypnotizes her again. I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. Just to
Dr.
Lodo obviously
Vornoff
is
whips Lodo.
to get him away because he's very enamored with Janet.
Yeah, Janet demands to know what happened to her. She doesn't remember the previous night. She knows that Dr. Vornoff bought the old Willow's house. She questions him about the monster. Dr. Vornoff hypnotizes her again. She goes to sleep.
That's when you really see her pointy bra.
Yes. And
But he's gone through, he knows she's pressed because he's gone through her bag. He knows her name. She's like, how do you know my name? And, but then, yeah, he puts her out again.
And he tells Lodo to take her to his quarters, Karen.
Yes. His quarters.
His
not,
quarters.
Not Lodo's quarters, to the doctor's quarters.
So we see the professor approaching the house and enters. Right here.
Without knocking.
Yeah, bad sound effects. That's the
Oh, maybe
bad.
that's where it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And we see Lodo and Dr. Vornoff greets the professor Strowski. Professor is interested in doctor's experiments in atomic energy. Apparently, wherever Dr. Vornoff has been there have been monsters question mark. He was
Yeah, I
banned
didn't
from his
put that together.
homeland for
Yeah.
investigating atomic energy, and he has never again seen his wife and child.
He gets emotional.
Yeah. Professor Strowski is working for his government question mark.
Yes,
They
they
want to
want him back.
use Dr. Varnoff for his atomic energy experiments. And at this point, Dr. Varnoff says, "Home? I have no home." And he gives a whole soliloquy.
Well, he's pissed. They kicked him out. Now they want him back because his experiments are working.
Apparently, that's a famous scene. But Doctor wants to produce a race of atomic superhumans to conquer the world.
That's what the government wants from him, too.
Yes. Doctor refuses. He works for himself.
He's going to conquer the world himself. Yeah.
Professor pulls a gun. Government ordered him to bring him back. Lodo grabs the professor and takes him to the lab and throws him to the octopus. He gone.
Yeah, that didn't take long.
Lieutenant Craig and Captain Robbins arrive back at the swamp and find the professor's car. Lieutenant Craig makes his way to Willow House.
They split up, right? Doesn't the other guy go to the beach? Only Lieutenant Craig goes to the house or towards the house because
Yeah.
doesn't he? I thought he fell in quicksand,
Yeah,
but
Lieutenant Craig falls in quicksand.
they mention
And-
quicksand multiple times. Like there's alligators and
alligators,
snakes
yes.
and quicksand.
And an alligator or two approaches.
Yeah, and it's stock footage.
He shoots at them, but they keep coming. He escapes. And right here I wrote, he better reload because he's used all of his bullets.
But he hops right out of the quicksand. I'm like, that's not how that works. I said maybe it was just a hole, but I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be quicksand because he kind of went down slowly.
They want you to believe. Captain Robbins arrives at the newspaper archive, questions the woman working there. Lady tells him that Janet was looking for sales of the Willow House. Captain looks at the paper. He calls in and has his people look up Dr. Vornoff. He wants all their information on Dr. Vornoff.
Everything you got.
Everything you got. Yeah. Google that shit.
Yeah. Get on that. Get to that card catalog.
Then we see Dr. Varnoff getting ready to conduct an experiment. He says he's ready for the girl. More hand acting. He brings her to them on his own using his hands.
Yes. Calling to her.
She's all hypnotized.
Harkening back to his Dracula days.
And I wrote, she is wearing a lovely white dress.
I believe it's a wedding dress.
And then I wrote, who put that dress on her? Question mark. Who was it, Karen? Did she do it herself?
Could have been anyone.
All right. Lieutenant Craig arrives, walks into the house, and begins looking around. Back at the lab, Dr. Varnoff whips Lodos again and forces him to strap Janet to the table.
Because Lodos likes her, he doesn't want to do any of it, but the handy dandy whip is there, so.
Then Lieutenant Craig enters the house and finds Janet's satchel. I don't know.
He finds the professors too. I thought it was the professors.
Probably was the professors.
Yeah.
And then he finds the hidden door in the fireplace by accident, I think.
Just happens to do it.
And he goes in with his gun drawn to investigate. I hope he's reloaded, Karen. Then we see Janet strapped to a table with a work light shield on her head again.
Yep.
And Dr. Varnoff says, it will only hurt for a moment, and then she will emerge a woman with super strength.
And beauty. I guess more beauty.
Lieutenant Craig enters. He demands Professor Turner loose. Lodo enters and hits Lieutenant Craig and drags Lieutenant Craig out.
That's when his shirt gets ripped, I think.
Cut to police cars driving through the swamp. Captain and Officer Kelton head to the Willow House. See Lieutenant Craig chained up in the lab. Dr. Varnoff turns on some lights and he goes to throw the same switches he did for the hunter on Janet. As Lodo strokes some fur and he puts it on Janet.
That's her hat.
Okay.
It was her hat.
Was it an Angora hat? Did it look Angora?
I don't know.
because apparently that's a thing with Ed Wood. He
Oh,
liked Angora.
could be
He goes to attack the doctor. Doctor
because he's
fires.
protecting her.
Doctor fires several shots into him, but Lodo attacks the doctor and throws him across the lab. Lodo frees Janet from the table. She is scared of him. She grabs the gun and gives it back to Lieutenant Craig, puts it in his holster. Lieutenant Craig says, "Give me the gun." And she walks up to him and puts it in his holster.
She does.
I don't know what that's about. But she frees Lieutenant Craig from his chains as Lodo puts the professor on the table and straps him in. Then he begins throwing switches.
In the correct order, apparently.
I don't know. Lieutenant Craig decides to try to stop him. He fires one shot and then is out of bullets. So apparently he did not reload, Karen. They fight. Lieutenant Craig is no match for Lodo. He throws
Nope.
him around like a rag doll. Janet
No,
runs
this
for
is where
help.
he rips his shirt. My bad, people. Here's where his shirt gets ripped.
Janet runs to help Lieutenant Craig. Lodo throws knobs and blade switches. Dr. Vernoff twitches and he yells no and screams. Janet and Lieutenant Craig watch. Lodo turns off the machinery. Captain and Officer Kelton arrive with Marty. Professor breaks the leather straps holding him to the table. He grabs Lodo and they begin fighting.
Because the doctor is bigger now. He's
And I wrote, it's obviously a body double, a stuntman, very
yes.
tall.
Yes. But I think he's supposed to be transformed.
I'm not sure.
I think he is.
Lodo falls against the machinery and is electrocuted, shorting it all out, which is a trope I'm feeling now. That happens a lot in these B movies, at least.
Well, so they can have a fire.
Yeah, the doctor grabs Janet as she screams, drags her away. Lieutenant Craig wakes up and runs after them. Captain and the other policemen run out because the place is on fire. They see the doctor carrying Janet through the marsh. Then Lieutenant Craig comes running. Officer Kelton goes to shoot, but Lieutenant Craig stops him. You'll hit her! Don't
Yeah,
shoot.
you lousy shot.
They all chase after the doctor and Janet, but I wrote, it's obvious doctor's carrying a dummy. Right here. It's not
Yes.
Janet, it's a dummy. He drops the dummy and flees by himself. Police pursue him while Lieutenant Craig tends to Janet, who is no longer a dummy. Police officers open fire at the doctor. There's like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah,
And right
because
here,
see, it doesn't affect him. He's getting shot, but it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, he's transformed. Lodo knows the key.
and right here, he kind of looks like Eddie from the Iron Maiden Book of Souls album cover.
There you go.
Just saying. He's got things on his face. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then we cut to the octopus in the water. Lieutenant Craig pushes a boulder over.
A boulder that's huge and way taller than him, but he just pushes it off.
Over Doctor and forces him into the water.
It runs over him. Yeah.
I guess it does, and eventually forces him into the water. But it's not a good shot.
No. And
Octopus attacks him. I wrote, it's pretty bad.
it is bad.
Bella
That's probably the worst.
I wrote, Bella kind of makes it convincing.
A little bit.
It's pretty bad. And then I wrote, next thing I have is atomic explosion. I feel
Yeah.
like I missed something here.
That's what I go, wait, I have atomic bomb goes off, question mark. And I said, they're all fine with just being so close to it standing there. It's like, okay. I go, that's not good.
And then the captain says, he tampered in God's domain.
Yeah. So I think there was a bit of a political stance there.
The end.
Yep.
Credits.
There were some very cheesy bad parts, but overall, I don't think it was as terrible as I thought it was going to be.
It was better than I thought it would be. It was not Plan 9. I will give it that. Which is why I gave it a 4 instead of a 5. All right, Karen, what'd you think of the gimlet? Have you ever had a gimlet?
I don't think so. And I used a botanical gin. It's a little strong. I would reduce the gin by a fair amount. It's just too much for me, but I think I could adjust it to really like it.
Mine's evaporated. I did use more lime juice than was suggested because it's over poured, but I used less simple syrup. So I think I made
Oh,
up for it.
I always use more simple syrup.
Well, I didn't want to make it too sweet, because I over poured the lime juice. It's all sweet. It's basically gin and sweetness with a little lime.
Yeah. But like I said, I think I could adjust it to my taste. This is a little much for me. It's a little strong, but I like it. I think, with a little more ice and a little,
Yeah, I'm not, and our regular listeners will know, I'm not a fan of gin.
right.
But this is mixed pretty well, with the lime and the simple syrup. I'm not mad at it. Gin did not bother me. All right, Karen, anything we learned today?
Besides what a gimlet cocktail was, that it was Ed Wood's favorite. We learned about atomic bombs, the Loch Ness Monster, and Ed Wood. Is that it? That might be it.
I think that's it. I did tell you what $1,000 in 1955 money is worth today.
It's true.
$12,000. Yeah, I think that's it.
Short and sweet.
Anyone?
Well, what a lock was too. Just, I don't want to sell myself short.
No, we can't let that happen. All right, Karen, anyone you need to thank this week?
Well, I always want to thank our listener. There are so many podcasts out there. Thank you for spending time with us. What about you, Greg? Who do you need to thank?
Well, I always want to thank the band Verse 13 for providing all the music in the Scary Spirits podcast.
Because the music does make the podcast better.
Definitely. Anything else, Karen?
Please drink responsibly.
Yes.
Thanks so much for listening. Want to keep in touch? Check out our website, scaryspirits.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Scary Spirits Podcast. Find us on YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast. If you have questions or comments, you can email us at info@scaryspirits.com. To help us grow the podcast, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We really do appreciate your support. And as always, please drink responsibly.